All right, so if you're a DC fan, on the movie side, it's been a pretty exciting week for to be a DC fan, but also it's going to be a pretty exciting week next week because we got Poison Ivy's number 6 coming out, which is going to be the conclusion for the first story arc. So remember, this story was originally supposed to be only 6 issues, so this would have been a self-contained story up to this point, and then it got extended, so we're going to be seeing where it goes beyond number 6. So I'm very curious to see where it ended. It ended out on a kind of a little bit of a cliffhanger last time, but today we're going to be previewing the covers. All right, so if you've been watching these videos, thank you for coming back. And for those of you who are new, I'm doing a Poison Ivy series where I do 2 series. I do one where I do cover previews and one where I actually review the story. Today we're doing the cover previews for number 6. And because we are on a mission to find the number 1 Poison Ivy cover, we're looking for that one Poison Ivy cover, the one Poison Ivy cover to rule them all. And if you're a Poison Ivy fan and you're a fan of art, then this series has been good to you as it has been good to me. All right, so we're going to start off with the A cover as per usual, which is the Jessica Fong. All right, so just a story driven art here. This is kind of creepy looking where she's kind of tearing her skin apart. You can kind of see the fungus growing through. I'm telling you guys, after seeing the monster, I'm pretty sure G. Willow Wilson got a lot of inspiration from the Last of Us video game. But yeah, this is pretty cool, man. I like it. Again, it's more of a story driven, and it's also going to be printed on the regular floppy paper. So let's look at the B cover, which is a Warren Lowe. I know a lot of people are fans of Warren Lowe, and I feel for me, he's kind of like every once in a while he'll put something else that I like. Let's look at this cover. This cover is pretty amazing, actually. I love the colors. I love the brightness, all the highlights on it, the reds. I love her eyes just rolling back, dude. I wonder if this has to do anything with the story where, like, is she gonna be like, is the green just gonna feed through her again and just like overpower her? I don't know. I'm pretty excited to see how she ends up getting out of that one. But you can kind of see these little red mushroom things again growing on her. And the little red dot cherry tomato things that we've been seeing recurring in the covers over and over again. And this is kind of a new age suit that you see. This is kind of brand new. I think this is new for this series as well. And you kind of have this really wicked, cool looking snake down here. I don't know. It looks really cool. It looks really cool. I am personally not probably gonna be picking this one up, just because it doesn't have that classic Poison Ivy aesthetic. It's more of like a more fungus driven, and I like kind of Poison Ivy with a little bit more plants and a little bit more traditional. I at least want to be able to recognize that, you know, this is Poison Ivy at first grab. So an excellent cover, and I think it'll look good in anybody's collection. All right, so next one is going to be cover number C. All right, so this is by Jenny Frison. I think this one might be like her third Poison Ivy cover. Yo, she's got another one coming out, dude. She's got another one, and it's gonna be looking wicked as well. So this one's awesome, pretty cool. This one kind of reminds me of the old Glenn Fabry Hellblazer one from like back in the 90s. I don't know, maybe I think it's like the side portrait with her hair just flowing in the wind. I don't know. I really dig the atmosphere of this one because that's what I'm kind of getting. I'm kind of getting like she's kind of like out in the meadow during the summer and stuff like that, and there's just kind of like a breeze coming through, and she's just kind of stopping to smell the flowers, or maybe she's stopping to grow the flowers. I don't know. We don't know what's going on here. I love this. The only thing I would say is that this is way too close up to her, as is for a lot of Jenny Frison stuff. But you know, and it's probably taken her a lot of time for her to put all this detail into the flowers and all the lines works and everything. It looks excellent. For me, I don't think this is going to be the Poison Ivy cover. I don't even think this is the best Jenny Frison cover, even though it's still a good cover, man. It's still a great cover, and because like I said, we're getting spoiled here. We're getting spoiled with this series, so we'll see if I'm gonna pick that one up. I'm still kind of on the boat. I might just collect all the Frison ones. I don't know. I might just do that. This is a D cover, which is the Incentive 1 in 25. And this is by Janaina Medeiros. I don't think I'm familiar with her work. I've probably seen her work before, but her name doesn't ring a bell to me right now. But I'll tell you what does ring a bell. This freaking cover, man, looks great. I love it that it's on white, right? Because white covers always stand out for some reason to me. And I love like the like the mirror image where you got like the parallel flowers. I don't know. I think it's like the parallel of the, you know, the symmetry of the cover as well. I love it. And I love that Poison Ivy has her classic costume. I'm a big fan of this. She's also got the gloves on, and she's kind of like growing down by a vein, and she's kind of like looking a little bit graceful. It's definitely a pinup style art. I really like this one. Now, is it worth the 1 in 25? I don't think it is at this moment, right? I don't think that this is going to be a huge key issue, which is something that I would feel like would appeal to me. Getting the 1 in 25 is if this was a key issue. I'm not sure this is going to be I don't think this is going to be a key issue, even though G. Willow Wilson has been kind of hyping it up on Twitter. I'll talk to you about that in a little bit. So this is going to be a really cool 125. Now, if you're after it, I think if you find it for you find it for $25, if you find it for ratio or less, I say go for it. I think it's worth it. But I think in a few months you might be able to pick it up cheaper if that's not like something you're after, which is what I'm going to be doing. I don't think this is going to be a 1 in 25. So I don't think this is going to be something I'm going to be chasing right off the printer. But I do love this cover. I love the freaking cover. I think it's an awesome cover. So let's look at the 1 in 50. So 1 in 50, as we can see, is the Jenny Frison one, but foil, shiny foil. Again, with these higher ratios just being in foil, guys, you guys have already know what I think about them, but you know, they're basically flipper bait, and I don't think that this is worth it. I don't think the 1 in 50 is gonna be worth right off the printer as well. So awesome, love it. I know we only had a few covers, but I expect us to be getting a little bit more covers as the series, if this series continues to be as good as it has been as far as the writing and the art, and it continues this great quality, I can see this series starting to gain some traction and kind of become kind of a hot book, which I'm kind of hoping, you know, that more people enjoy this book and join in on the conversation, which is similar to kind of what happened with the with some of the Venom stuff, where it started off kind of slow and then slowly started turning into like a cultural phenomenon within the comic book culture. So anyways, I did want to talk about G. Willow Wilson on Twitter, where she did put out a tweet where she kind of likened it to where she was kind of like saying that she appreciates the Poison Ivy fans because she thinks that we understand it when she says that this issue is going to be the Sound of Her Wings issue. I'm not really sure if she was actually talking about this upcoming issue, or maybe she was talking to someone out in real life and they talked about a certain issue coming up. So now, if you guys aren't familiar with the Sound of Her Wings, they're referring to issue number 8 from the Sandman series written by Neil Gaiman, which is one of the most powerful standalone stories of comic books ever. And it's the introduction of Death of the Endless. Keep it real, guys. Do I think that this next coming up issue or this series is on that trajectory? I don't know if this coming up issue is going to hit me as hard as the Sound of Her Wings, because with Sound of Her Wings, I've always said the reason it impacted me so hard was because of the diner stuff. You know, I thought that the diner stuff kind of built its way up, and then if you haven't read Sandman, I highly recommend it. But again, this could be taken in multiple different ways. That's why I think multiple different ways. That's the thing about art, though. You can take a work of art and it can be meaningful to two different people, but it can also be meaningful for two different reasons. So again, we'll see how this goes. I'm actually very excited to see where the conclusion of this series is going to be. So that's going to be it for the covers. Stay tuned for next week. We're going to be doing the review for issue number 6, which is going to be the conclusion for this first arc, and hopefully we get to see kind of a little bit of a preview or a setup to see what's coming up next. Also, I'm going to be telling you guys how I'm going to be giving this out, and this is going to be a signed copy of this Jenny Frison book, and it's upside down. There it is. So I'm going to be giving out this book right here. And all I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking, you know, all the comments from all the Poison Ivy series up to this issue, and then we're going to be figuring it out from there. I'm going to ship it everywhere, especially if you're worldwide. I'll ship it to you as well, and we'll see with that, man. I'll see you guys here next week for Poison Ivy #6 review. All right, you guys stay cool.